The New World Summit will organize a three-day assembly in the Netherlands to discuss the Rojava Revolution and other issues. We will learn now more on this summit from the artist and founder of the New World Summit, Jonas Staal, who will join us from the Netherlands. Welcome, Mr. Staal, to our program. From 29 till 31st of January, the sixth summit organized by the New World Summit will take place in the Utrecht University in the Netherlands. The Rojava Revolution will be also a point of discussion during the summit. Who are the participants and what will be the discussion about?
Hello, good morning. The discussion, it will be, as you said, a three-day summit in which international representatives of different stateless and autonomous movements from all over the world will gather around the concept of stateless democracy, that which the Rojava revolutionaries call democratic confederalism, and what Abdullah Öcalan explained as democracy without the state. And at this period of time in which we are now, in which the state is in a severe stage of crisis, when it comes to the rise of ultranationalism in Europe, the refugee crisis, the war on terror, the question is, can our current idea of the state still protect or defend an emancipatory or progressive idea of democracy? And we believe that the ideas that were developed in the Rojava Revolution when it comes to decentralized forms of self-governance, of gender equality, communal economy, can be an example for many different autonomous and other stateless movements from all over the world. So apart from speakers from the democratic self-administration of Rojava that will be present during the 3 days, we will connect their voices and their stories to speakers from the popular movement in Palestine and the International Pirate Party, Barcelona in Comú, Sinn Féin, representatives of the National Democratic Movement of the Philippines, and we will look for the question at what level democratic confederalism, stateless democracy can be an example, a proposition through which we can propose a critique of our current idea of the state and develop new models of democracy that connects these different movements from all over the world.
The fifth New World Summit was held in October 2015 in Rojava. What was the aim behind holding the summit in Rojava, and what have the discussions in the summit told us about the Rojava Revolution?
And the first summit in Rojava was held on October 16 and 17, 2015. And we brought, our organization assembled an international delegation of about 27 different members from other stateless and autonomous movements, again, progressive political parties, but also academics and artists and students, to try to understand through several days of traveling throughout the Rojava region better the political institutions, the educational institutions, the cultural institutions that have been developed since 2012, to understand the daily practice of democratic confederalism, of stateless democracy, and to try to build a series of exchanges and collaborations between different emancipatory political movements from all over the world. During the 2-day summits, we try to connect some of the key ideas in the Rojava Revolution to other movements. So, for example, the concept of confederalism, of communalism, of gender equality, the right to self-defense. So we connected speakers from democratic self-administration of Rojava with speakers from Catalonia, speakers from Scotland, from the Scottish National Party, speakers from the Amazigh World Congress. And that way we try to start building step by step an exchange and mutual understanding between these different movements. But of course, we are limited with the amount of people that we can bring to Rojava. So this is why we've organized now also this summit in Utrecht, to make it possible for a broader international audience to get to know and to understand the ideals and propositions and struggles that the Rojava revolutionaries are currently engaged in.
The New World Summit, together with the Jazeera Canton administration, is building a public parliament in Derrick City. What is the function of the parliament, and tell us please more about the design of the parliament?
Yeah, so the first summit that we organized in Rojava was about trying to understand, learning about the model of democratic confederalism, of stateless democracy, learning about the incredible struggles that are taking place in the region when it comes to fighting the Islamic State, building an autonomous region, the continuous threats from the side of the Erdogan regime, which has heavily militarized Bakur at this moment and continues to provoke reactions at the borders of Rojava. But it was also a celebration of a long-term collaboration that my organization started with the Democratic Self-Administration of Rojava in, as you said, building a new public parliament in the heart of the city of Derik, which is going to be a kind of what in ancient Greece you would call the agora, a public space for assembly, a public space for gathering. It's a circular space that tries to represent the ideals of the Rojava Revolution. One of the most important ones is probably the liberation of democracy from the structure of the state, meaning that the parliament, the idea of the parliament in the Rojava Revolution is no longer just a place for a selected elite to govern a people. It's about self-governance. It's about the commune and the assembly as the heart of day-to-day politics. So the idea of creating a parliament that is a public space around which we're developing a park is in itself a symbol and an expression of the new ideas of the revolutionary imaginaries that came as a result of the Rojava Revolution. So the parliament is circular, meaning that there's not a central speaker that speaks to the people, but people are assembled continuously in equal relationships to one another. Around it are kind of arches built on which key terms from the social contract, the key texts that defined the values of the Rojava Revolution are placed. So on these pillars are ideas such as key terms mentioned, such as secularism, communalism, cultural diversity, gender equality, etc. So it's really a manifesto, a visual manifesto of the values of the Rojava Revolution. And on top of this public parliament are really large canvases. They form the rooftop with fragments of flags of all the organizations that self-govern the region, from Jakitia Star to the Democratic Movement, etc.
Jonas Staal, the artist and founder of the New Wall Summit. You've been with us from the Netherlands. Thanks a lot for joining our program.
You're very welcome. Thank you.